Welcome back to the Brickanista Broadcast Network here on YouTube and on Rumble. And I'm here with my buddy PT McEwen. How's it
Hello,
going,
everyone.
PT? Hey. Yes, and we are matching. We have our
We're twinsies today with the old BrickCon shirt.
2023 shirts.
Yep.
From our buddy Eric. I was only there for a short time. Were you able to go for the whole time? I went there.
I was all virtual. I originally went and I had to switch it to virtual because I had a family thing obligation,
okay.
So I couldn't fly.
And you bought the shirt.
Well, yeah, I already had everything bought and ordered way before, and so they shipped it over. So.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Well, cool. Well, for any of you joining for the first time, welcome. I'm Naomi, the Brickanista, based out of Vancouver, Washington. And howdy, yes, Debo, howdy. Howdy, Greg. How's it going? And PT, where are you based?
I'm in SoCal. I'm, just here in Sunnyland where right now it's still summer. I thought fall was coming, but we had 3 days of nice, cool weather, but then it just back up into the 80s, 90s. So,
yeah. Well, we are West Coast people, and I am wearing the Stetson hat by request. I asked the Tims. We were right behind the scenes right before the show. I said, okay, well, this is the hat I normally wear, but I did bring my Stetson, and I haven't worn this in a long time. I remember I bought this specifically so I could ride in the Grand Canyon with a nice wide brim hat, on the donkeys. And it was amazing. And it's several decades old.
It looks almost new out of the box.
Well, I've worn it maybe 5 times in the time that I've had it. It's always been for, like a dress up occasion. Like I was invited once to a hoedown for a Toastmasters International, where it was like a hoedown theme, and so I wore the hat, and everybody loved it. And I said, okay, well, maybe I need to wear it more often. Maybe this will get me on the show.
There you go.
I did live in North Carolina though for over 20 years, so there might be some southernisms. Sorry, I can't talk today. Southernisms that are going to be dropped in.
That's okay.
You always say "bless your heart," which has multiple meanings in the South, and I'm really, really excited because we have 2 fine Southern boys who are going to be joining us today.
Hey, some LEGOMasters.
And LEGOMasters from season 4, and we're going to be reviewing episode 1. So first, please help me welcome. We have Tim Howell, also known as Timmy Owl.
Hey.
How's it going?
Glad to be here. Thanks for having us.
How y'all doing?
Howdy, y'all.
And we have Tim Hutchings.
Hey, Tim.
Hey, y'all. How's it going? I'll probably be dropping some Southernisms more and more. The hat will take over. Right?
That's how it works.
That's how it works.
That's how it works, isn't it? Yeah. I also have some boots I bought from Oklahoma. I didn't wear them today, but Tulsa, Oklahoma is a great place to go boot shopping if you need some. But we're here to talk about LEGOMasters season 4, episode 1. So, Yes, I know. Every time I guess contestants are out in public, you all do the 4 symbol, right?
4. 4? You guys are dropping signs, 4?
Most of the time when you guys are in a group shot or if you're talking to each other, I mean, others have been doing things like, I think, let me make sure if I do this right, like LEGOMasters, right? But I'm doing it wrong, so I guess I have to do it this way. Am I doing this right? One of the teams does it that way. I should have practiced before the stream.
So there's a photo that I'm not sure if we're allowed to post publicly.
Oh.
But from early on filming with all of us as a group, and somehow I missed the memo because everybody else is doing 4, and I'm just waving high, so it looks like I'm doing 5.
5.
You'll be back.
Look who's in the house. We have Luis Saladrigas, who's in the house, which, by the way, here's a little fun fact. His handle is Salad Bricks.
Yep.
And from season 3, we had Lettuce Bricks. So they should do a show together, Lettuce Bricks and Salad Bricks, a cooking show with bricks. So great story, yes. Well, I hope we see that photo if you ever dig it up.
Oh,
You can
I know
post
where
it
it
on
is.
Instagram.
I think it falls into the category of things we're not supposed to post.
Oh, okay.
Ah,
Because you were off script by putting 5 instead of 4, or just
Because of where we were at the time that it and where and
ah,
when it was taken.
gotcha.
okay. Yeah, that's
It,
okay.
it'll maybe someday it'll come out, but yeah.
Well, what we'll do is you can reveal what you're allowed to reveal. And what we typically do on this show for anybody who's new is that we go through all of the builds from all of the contestants and we review them and also talk about the show. So there will be spoilers if you have not seen the show yet. We waited a while. I mean, the show was last Thursday.
If you
But
haven't seen it
if
yet,
you
why
haven't
not?
seen the
Yeah,
show
come
yet,
on.
Exactly.
yeah, we'll let you know when the spoilers are going to happen. But anyway, so welcome. So great to have you here. And so, which one of you decided to be on the show and roped in the other one?
Roped in, good, yeah. Well, I mean, it was really a group thing. I mean, when we first applied for season 1,
Mm-hmm.
and
Oh wow!
you know, I heard about it, and I checked with a few people, and I actually kind of figured Tim would be the one that would jump on it, and he did, and so we went with that. Obviously, didn't make it for that season. You know, so later, producers casting reached out to Tim and said, "We're looking through old applications. Are you still interested?" And so at that point, he called me back, and we kind of talked about it and said, "Well, you know, let's at least do one interview," and it just sort of kept going from there. So it was a little bit both ways.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here we are.
Yeah.
America's sweethearts.
Yes, you are. America's Southern sweethearts. And now,
Well, here, here's a fun fact.
Did you decide on the overalls too, or was that
Actually,
wardrobe?
that is my fault. I actually, the very first Zoom call, I wore them, and because I love them. I've been wearing them for most of my life, doing carpentry, all that stuff. And the casting person, when I talked about him, he thought that looked, country, western, all that. It was as close as I could come, and so I wore them. And Tim, he like the good guy he is, he embraced them, and now he wears them probably more than I do. So.
Yeah, I do home inspections, and I thought, I was looking at all those pockets, looking at how you're all covered up, so if you're crawling through the attic or whatever. So yeah, I started wearing them on home inspections, and I do that regularly when it's not 90 degrees out. It's got to cool off a little bit.
Or 110.
Yeah, but yeah. I mean, the ones I had on episode 1 were the exact ones I have worn working.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's
and
really
aloha hoy, we have Brickaroo Bonsai in the house as well. Hello, welcome.
Oh, that's a great
PT,
name.
did you have any specific questions?
No, I actually wanted to see where they started. They're just kind of see, and I don't know, Tim and Tim, whoever would like to go first and say, where'd your Lego journey start? Where'd you get started with the brick?
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I guess I'm not the atypical Lego person. I had them as a kid in the early 70s, and they were just the basic bricks and stuff. And so my brother and I played with them and built buildings and forts along with our Lincoln logs and blocks and stuff. And then we just as we grew out of them, and then I never even really saw Lego in a store or paid any attention to it until 2010. My mother-in-law for Christmas got me and my son a set, and by then it was the great sets and stuff that it is now. And I had just sold my massive comic book collection, and I like to collect things, and soon found out that collecting Lego is a really cool thing, and just kind of got out of control. And then I discovered custom figures and online people like Jang Bricks and Brick Czar and stuff like that. And then I discovered Lego groups, and that's how I met Tim. Then conventions and getting in front of people and just enjoying this wonderful community. And then 2 years ago, through a guy named Julian Smith, aka Brick Smith, he got me into the live streaming, and so I've been doing a lot of that on several shows each week, and just love that community. This community, the YouTube AFOL community, is just fantastic, and I hope to meet everybody in person someday at some point. So that's that's the long version. Sorry.
Well, no, that's totally cool. So I have a question. So you said online YouTube streams. Which ones do you actually hang out with?
On Mondays and Thursdays, when I can get in there, I'm on Old Gray Bricks with Zoom and all those guys, the Atlanta Bunt, the Peach Lug, and
no way. Okay.
Oh, don't you have an Old Gray Bricks little icon or something?
Sorry.
Yeah, PT's a big fan.
Yeah, I started watching him and I saw the slide and I was like, oh, that's cool. I'll make one. So yes, he's up on the shelf.
Chris is for Zoom. He is a fantastic builder. His space is his big thing. And then I got a plug, or Julian will be all over me. On Wednesday nights, we do Lego Ultimate Builds, or Love, and it's me and him and a couple of our friends. We just pick a build and take our time and talk on Wednesday nights and build that. And then because actually a young lady in Houston, Haley Bricks, got me involved with Hoosier Bricks, as Hoosier Live on Thursday nights and Saturday nights, and I'm occasionally on there. So I don't do. I just have my channel videos, and so I don't have to do any live stuff because I got enough outlets that.
You just drop in on everybody's stream. Good thing we stream on Tuesdays.
I know.
You're available.
That's right.
So what about you, Tim? Where'd you get your Lego start?
I started as a kid. I probably had some Lego sets when I was 4 years old. What I think of as my first set, I don't know if it was or not, is that old Moonlander from the 70s, the big blue thing with the 4 legs coming down. So I had that and a bunch of city things, a lot of classic space in the 80s as I was getting a little bit older. And I firmly believe that my playing with the Lego bricks and building kind of led me into going to school for architecture. And I went to Rice University here in Houston, studied architecture, became an architect, kind of got away from the Lego building for a while, hit my dark ages, had a couple young boys, and as they got big enough to hold bricks, we got back into it.
Very nice.
And then around 2009, 10, the modular buildings started coming out, and that really appealed to my architectural side. And so the fire brigade was what I kind of think of as the first one that convinced me that I could buy a Lego set for myself as an adult. And really fun having that connection, and then being on the show with Jamie Berard there, because he designed that fire brigade.
That's cool.
Yeah. So, and then 2013, we moved to Houston, and over the next year, I discovered Houston Brick Club and met Tim and realized, there's a whole bunch of other adults who like to build with Lego. This is like an acceptable thing, and people to talk with about it, and encourage each other and help each other. Very much like Tim was saying about the community, and kind of from there kept going, got involved in running Brick Rodeo, which I had a great time doing that. And just the last couple of years, been lucky enough to get paid for a couple things building Lego, and I would love to do more than that. So if anybody's listening and you want something custom, hey, hit me up. I'll do it for you.
That's really cool. No, I doing commissioned work. That's something I've never done. There's a few people that I've known that have done that, but I am not one of those. That is very cool. Well, thanks for sharing.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And speaking of supportive people in the chat, we also have Emily Builds It, and Tim, we're here to take you apart. So much for supporting, but also taking you apart. We know you're just joking, Emily.
It's all in fun. All in fun.
Yes, but
Yes.
she also says you're looking very dapper, my love. So I'm not sure which one of you she's referring to.
Well, I'm the one that she hugs on the show. So
Oh, that's true. That's true.
That's-
You are the one she hugs. And we're the Timinators. Do you actually refer to yourself as the Timinators? Will we hear that?
that was our thing applying for the show.
Ah.
It seems to be that they're going with Texas Tims, but yeah, I mean, all the
Okay.
way through the interviews,
Hey.
and even there, we were
I
going
will
with
be
it.
happy to call you the Timinators. We've
So-
done that with Yo-Yo and Crash. They were Steven and Steven, and they prefer to be called Yo-Yo and Crash. So whenever we would do, the beauty shot that they have, we would change their names. We did the same thing for Taco Splendino, who will be here next week, by the way.
Great.
She's going to be co-hosting with PT.
Yeah.
Nice.
So Emily was just reminding me, we would say it with the brick separator. We're coming to take you apart.
Oh, nice.
Yes. Thanks, Emily.
Nice.
But the
You
other thing, in episode 1, about 15 minutes in, it's not real clear, but you can hear Poppy saying to Ben, "Go look at the Timinators boat." At the letters the Timinators did. They did the letters really
Nice.
well, which we'll get into. But yeah, but
See, this is the behind the
pops up there.
scenes stuff that we love to hear. So moving forward, we're going to call you guys the Timinators. This is great. And Debo Bricks is in the house too. Oh, wow. It's a wild time in Chat City tonight, y'all. And I was telling them to behave. All y'all behave now. So, but
All
no,
y'all.
please feel free to chat. I was just joking there. So, and we also have Grandma Blue Bricks is in the house.
Hey.
Hey, how's it going, Karen? Good to have you here. And also Alex P.
Alex,
5510.
hey.
Love the Tims. Is that one of your followers there?
That is Alex of Lewis and Alex from the show.
Oh, Lewis and Alex. Okay, I did
yeah.
not have his handle. So hello.
think
Hi,
that's a-
Alex from
yeah.
Miami. Good to have you here. And then it was their time with the brick separator. Yes. Oh, is their line? Okay. Yeah. And you said it tons. So will we hear that, you think? Or do you think the editors will keep that
I don't know.
Okay. So
We'll
it
have
looks
to wait
like-
and see, and so will we. We don't know what's going to show up.
Well, I hope the Timinators in your lines come through quite a bit. That's awesome. So it's good to see both of you knew each other for a while before you entered the show. We didn't know that you also applied for season 1, so that's really cool. And that the fact they called you back.
Yeah.
A lot of times they just ghost you and you just never hear anything ever again. Well, we have a long show because we're going to review all of the builds from the season 4, episode 1, and the Timinators are going to help us too talk a little bit behind the scenes. And that was a lot of really amazing builds and some nerve-wracking moments too.
Mm-hmm.
So spoilers ahead, folks. If you haven't watched the show yet, this is where we're going to have PT's put together a slide deck with a lot of the builds. And we also want to thank Endemol Shine because we have a relationship with Endemol Shine. They let us interview the contestants and they also provide us some amazing shots too.
All right. Boom.
There they are.
Here we are. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, that's just the title slides we get rocking here. Oh.
I was going to say I should probably hide my panda logo. Don't need that right now, do we?
It's fine. So season 4, LEGOMasters kicking off here. Here they come out the door. Our contestants, we're going to go through real quick and we can talk about each of the teams, and you guys can jump in and share some characteristics and things. And the first group is Allison and Melanie. I actually know Allison. She's here in Southern California and in Lagola with me. So I last time I saw her was actually we were doing a show for Brickfest Live. The Lug was, and she was there showing off her things. But I think I started following her when she started doing things with brick separators. She did a lot of brick separator stuff. But I don't know her partner. I've never met her partner. So.
I love their song in that episode. That was cool. That was great.
That was
I'm
fun.
wondering, you know, Dune had his, you know, we're building with bricks now. I mean, if every episode comes out with, you know, a different song from them, they could have a whole album, right, by the end of the show.
You know, if they taught it to all of us, we could have all sung along together. That would have been fun.
Oh, so this was a surprise to everybody. It sounds like when they broke out the ukulele.
So. I mean,
and I'd have brought mine along and played with them. I just didn't have room to bring it in my luggage. So,
well, season 3 had some ukulele people too.
Yeah. Aaron,
right?
Liz and Aaron, yeah.
Liz and Aaron both play the ukulele. So I'm curious. We will have to have them on the show sometime because I'm curious about what their thoughts were, because I'm sure they would have loved to have played as well on live television. But that was a great intro to this team because you know that they're musical and they met in choir practice. Yeah. And then got to be good friends.
Yeah, music school, I think it was. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right. Aubrey and Ryan.
Go ahead.
Say that again, Tim.
2 of the sweetest people you will ever meet. I love them dearly.
And I got to give them huge credit for doing this when they had 3 little kids at home. I mean, I don't know. I never had 3, but even just leaving 2 for an indefinite period of time, I don't know that I could have done that.
We have a comment in the chat from Grandma Blue Bricks too about how she heard them composing in the hotel and their brainstorms were hilarious. Talking about the previous teams.
Oh,
yeah. So yeah.
Allison and Melanie.
And Melanie, yep. Now what's interesting is Aubrey spells her name Aubree, and we also know an Aubrey Maktura or _ Maktura on Instagram who also spells her name the same way, and both of them are from Utah. So I just thought that was like, what are the chances you have 2 Aubreys? And my understanding is Aubrey actually had been asked to be on season 3 too. So the other Aubrey. Yeah. But anyway, I just thought it was interesting that what are the odds, unless that's how they spell it in Utah. I don't know.
Got me.
Yeah.
But really, really sweet couple. Yeah. So this is the husband-wife team on the show.
Yep.
Right. Emily's from Utah as well?
Yeah. Really?
Thanks, Louis.
Oh, I didn't know that. All right.
So if we were from Utah, you know, I would be Timmee Owl.
Because everybody spells their name with 2 E's.
Apparently.
Well, I don't know. Is Amy also Karen's teammate? She's out of Washington.
It's IE, though.
It's IE for her. That's right.
Not EE.
They don't like a Y in Utah.
Why not?
Yeah.
And we have Mike and Brad.
Mike and Brad. Oh, such wonderful guys.
Yes. Yeah, I had a chance to meet them at BrickCon. We're wearing our BrickCon shirts, and they had such an amazing build. Oh my gosh.
Absolutely. It was awesome.
Yes. Yeah, everyone is awesome. And I think the other thing that they mentioned too is just that the pressure of the show, just having a short window of time, is not something they're used to, which we saw as the show evolved. But if you saw their build at BrickCon, I was going to say it's probably 64 or 96 studs wide, something like that. It's pretty large build.
Big enough that it should be measured in feet, not studs.
That's true. We recently did a LEGOMasters New Zealand show where they had a picture frame that they had to work on, and it was in studs. But you're right, it was probably about a good 5 feet tall and a good 3 feet wide.
Wow.
And also 2 feet deep, 1.5 feet deep.
Oh, wow.
It was pretty intense, yeah. But we had big representation in the Pacific Northwest.
Louis and Alex.
Yeah.
Louis and
Alex is the next team.
Teachers, and we're going to school these people.
Yes. We're going to get a 4.0 in brick building or whatever it was they said. Yes. That's pretty funny.
And then Naomi, are they coming on the show later?
Yes,
Yeah.
they will be on the show later. We pretty much heard from all the teams except for 2, and I'm not going to call them out, but they're welcome to come by if they want. We pretty much heard from all the teams. We're waiting to schedule Christopher, and Robert. Those are the last ones that we got to fill in the schedule, but everybody else has a slot.
Yeah, and you know earlier you were talking before the show talking about wearing overalls and getting warm. I can't imagine these guys wearing ties and button-up shirts.
They're in the chat.
That would just burn me up.
How was it, Lewis and Alex? How was it wearing those ties on the show? Because
they're from Florida too, so they have to do it down there in that humid heat, way down there in the South Florida.
In Miami, that's true.
Yeah.
Florida.
So one of the bonuses of the overalls is pretty quickly on, the wardrobe person sewed a little pocket right in the back panel, right inside, so that when Tim and I got mic'd up, they put the mic in, they just reached in there, dropped the battery in, and we were done. I mean, literally 30 seconds.
Nice.
These guys, I saw them like unbuckling their pants and getting wires up. The women, they had wires running all kinds of places, So, I got, again, a ton of respect for everybody putting up with all that stuff, that we were just lucky we didn't have to.
Well, they said it was so much fun, and we do it all the time, every day. And were the ties extra absorbent? Actually, you could use it to kind of wipe your brow if you got really sweaty, right?
Oh man, too funny. All right.
My goodness.
And next we have Karen and Amy. They call them. You said the grandmas, right? Is that kind of that they're branding them as?
That was because they had so many grandkids. I think 27 between the two of them. I think
the two of them, 24 for Karen. She's in the chat too. So 24 for Karen, and I think 2 or 3 for Amy. But I will say I have had a chance to interview all of the different candidates, and they really had Amy in her natural form. She has very long hair, and she's, I think, a triathlete as well.
Constantly exercising and running.
Yes. So they frumped her up, for this show.
That's it exactly.
Instead of pump you up, we're gonna frump you up.
Oh man.
Yeah, I had them heavy sweaters on, so
3 now. So okay, so 24 plus 3, so 27. Yes. Yeah, and some of the chat too. Apparently, Emily stepped aside and was distracted, and they're saying we were talking about you. And I guess they were taped for the microphones when they were put on.
Could be.
I know I've done that kind of work in the past, and they've actually liked having me when I've worked for a couple of speakers, where they have like a panel of speakers, and then they always would have me mic up the women because it was much more easy for me to say, excuse me, can I have you put this down your blouse for a moment? I'm going to pull the other cord from the other end. But I can imagine it must have been easy for you having the overalls too. And of course, you never wear sweaters. Yeah, so I think definitely, Karen, they frumped you up for the show. You're still lovable, though. You're still very lovable. Oh, I see. Your ties were taped to the tie, and the ties wouldn't swing into your builds. Oh, okay.
Wow.
See, behind the scenes stuff. We love that. Thank you.
You didn't get to do the tuck your tie into your shirt thing.
No, they talk a lot about that. How they want to make sure things stay in place. So tape is used a lot for clothing. So that was good. Thanks for confirming that.
Next
Here's
we have
Emily and Kelly.
Emily and Kelly.
Okay, are you paying attention, Emily?
Yeah.
We're talking about you now.
they were kind of parts. They were the female version of us, because they were both very avid builders and everything. Do a lot of mock building and avid builders. Kind of
I don't know,
Well-
do we need to get them some pink overalls?
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, pink overalls would be great.
Yeah.
And Emily's here. Yes, she's listening. Well, also, I should tell you that I know Kelly pretty well because she's a member of Portlug. So our Portlug group has been having watch parties, and we've always been cheering this team on. So Emily, if your ears were burning on Thursday night, that's because we were cheering for you and Kelly together. And so we have a fondness for this team because of that. Pink wins.
And if you don't know, Kelly's got 2 builds in the Lego house right now. She just went over and put them 2 fantastic things.
Yeah, I think her chocolate shop and the clock shop, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's an amazing builder, and that's just some of her smaller builds. She's also done these amazing, not mosaics, but they are drawings, recreation of drawings from her daughter.
Yeah,
using
with the antennas.
the levers.
Yeah, the little levers. She
Yes.
just did all white with black levers, and just looking from a distance, you're like, wow, they look like, pencil drawings. And when you get up close, you realize they're just all these levers laid down to draw the lines. I mean, it was amazing.
And
there's
speaking
Kelly
of
right now.
Kelly's
Hey.
here. I'm here
Kelly.
too.
Hey, Emily, I'm sorry. I forgot you had one there too. Which one? What do you have in Denmark right now?
Oh, Emily has one in Denmark as well?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No,
I
she
didn't mean
says
to leave you
ha-ha,
out.
so. The horse was amazing.
We'll
Yes,
find
the
out.
horse that you've done, Kelly, was awesome. Really love that.
Yeah.
And but Kelly is the best female builder. We are very fond of Kelly, and we're always singing her praises all the time. So it's always great to be able to say, you saw somebody's work when they first started in the Lego community, and look where they are today. So just amazing. Both of you are awesome.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right.
Sorry this keeps covering up your face, Tim.
That's all right.
We're gonna have to come up with a new layout.
Format.
Let me see if there's another layout that puts us in front. Let's see if this works. Okay, that might work.
Man.
I think this will cover all of our faces. Oh no,
Oh,
it
pops
pops
us
up.
up.
Okay,
Hey,
Ooh, look
okay,
at that.
we
We
discovered
jumped
something
up
new.
and down. Cool.
Woo! Yeah. And then
Learn something
let's
new.
Let's
All
see,
right.
what do we have here? It's a good build. It was a joke build. I have to give Jordan of the Lego group. He took it back. Oh, nice,
Okay.
nice, Jordan.
Jordan Paxton.
From from the LAN.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so should we go with this format with it popping up so that we don't cover your face, Tim?
Sure. Have at it.
Okay. All right. It's almost like I want it to be centered, though. I'm having this issue, but I'll get over it.
What if we all lean a little bit?
It's like we all lean the same way. Oops, I'm leaning the wrong way. All right. 1, 2, 3. Let's lean all this way.
No.
That
No.
better?
Okay. We have to rehearse that next time. It's like Taylor Swift, your job is safe. No threat from us.
That's all right. So next
right.
we have Christopher and Robert.
Yes.
You talk about high energy. Holy cow. You had to pay attention every time you got ready to go to the brick pit because one of them, or especially Christopher was probably flying by you. So,
Oh yeah, he's always running to the brick pit.
yes.
It was interesting too.
That's what he did. I mean, he sprinted. I finally asked him at one point, please slow down a little bit. I don't think it made a difference.
Were there ever any incidents in the brick pit? Any collisions with anybody?
Well, you'll have to wait and see.
Oh, sorry. Okay, gotcha.
Well, apparently people like Kelly's profile picture, yes, and the chat is gone from star-studded to star-laden. Thank you, Debo.
Thanks, Debo.
Is Debo and Greg the only 2 non-contestants on that's watching right now?
No, Brickaroo Bonsai's here too.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, my kids were so young in that picture, and me too. Yeah, well, we appreciate the contestants being here, so that way we have people in the chat. Now, Greg Jonason, I think that might be somebody who's not a contestant.
No,
yeah, we have a few people who are not contestants in the chat.
Hey, Bart.
Yep, and Bart.
And
there.
Bart, you're here from Austin. Welcome from Austin. Cool. Well, anyway, going back to Robert and Christopher. Christopher's well known for duck bricks, right? And I don't know how he gets all of those sets hanging from the ceiling and also on the walls when he walks down his stairwell.
I'm just wondering if he runs in his house the way he ran on set.
No possible
just
way.
Shake and fall and
no possible way he could run in there at that speed.
Yeah. How funny.
Okay, brick and a snap. Is that your handle, Greg Jonathan?
Greg, I think you left an S out.
So
anyway. Okay, Poppy and Ben.
Yep, Poppy and Ben.
Poppy and Ben. Oh, Poppy's so much fun.
Yeah.
I'm going to show this. This has been sitting here. None of you guys have seen it.
Oh.
You're going to love this, Tim.
Oops.
All right, Naomi, you do it.
I was going to say, who's running the controls here today?
Do you see what it is?
My home away from home.
Yes.
Wait, is that a porta potty or is that a?
Yes.
The trailer.
It's the P wagon.
And
it even has a
lot of
P
time
on it.
Oh my God.
That's
funny.
Yellow P right there. So yes,
That's funny.
I made the P wagon. And I wasn't even thinking about showing that tonight. It's just sitting here beside me, and I saw Poppy.
You did.
Thought of the P wagon.
How many people can say that they streamed and that the P wagon was shown for everybody to see? I mean, they actually, I think Tricky Bricks talked about their P wagon for their show. That I think that they had to go outside the building and around to get to it. Yeah. And that's amazing, Tim. Nice job. Alex's house. And the honey wagon.
Yeah. They're probably more than Poppy even.
Oh my God. Oh, Greg's been on Sort Lug. That's where I know you from.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know both PT and I from Sort Lug.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's too funny.
Hope your mic was off.
Yeah, how you go?
We were told it would be turned off when we did.
I did
such
ask
things,
about
but I have no idea if it really was or not.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh my God,
First time I
so
went-
many trips to the
I
P
asked.
wagon. And Karen says she was fully mic'd up. Well,
Honestly, it doesn't bother me
sound,
that the mic was on, but it seems like it would bother the people listening.
well, technically, they have to turn it off. I mean, there's a privacy act where any kind of video and sound has to be off when if you're in a situation like this. But clearly, there have been, I think, other times where people had a hot mic when they were talking in the restroom, right? You heard some. It was not off. Okay. No. So that's where you have to keep your grunting to a minimum.
Oh,
Oh, boy.
we're gonna get a rating here.
Yeah.
We told you that it all depends on how chatty we are, the length
Yeah.
of this show. So
Streaming in the P wagon.
just deleted a comment about streaming in the P wagon. You'll thank me later.
Oh, I wish I had thought of
I
that.
should
Oh, that's
mention
good.
a lot of the followers here on the Brickanista Broadcast Network do appreciate puns. So don't be surprised if there's a lot of puns that come our way. And streaming in the P wagon is a good one. You'll have to remember
just
that.
wait till you get Jordan on here, boy. Yeah,
Oh,
you won't be able to stop him.
I'm gonna miss that show. That's next week. Jordan and Chris are on next week.
Oh. All right, our next team, Nina and Sam.
Oh, everybody knows how to play spoons. You do that if you're sitting by Nina. Find another seat because you'll lose a finger or something. Wow,
Oh.
it is.
Oh yeah, that sweet little lady.
Yeah.
She could bring it when she needs to.
Oh, how funny.
I loved how she was also bantering with Will.
Oh
It's
yeah.
like, no. He said, did your son get you into Lego bricks? It's like, no, it was me. I bought them.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, she's not gonna hold back.
Yes, it was great. I also like how they styled this team, with the scarf and the color palette too.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, she's one tough mama.
Yes.
Agreed. Absolutely agree on that.
Oh.
There they are.
Oh, who's that?
Who are these guys? It's the Timinators.
Tim and Tim, the Timinators. That's
The
right.
Timinators. We have to do a deep voice.
You apart.
The Timinators. Yeah.
So, what can you tell us about these guys, these builders?
I don't know. I'd be scared.
Okay, I do have to ask you a question that came from my chat the other day. So, Tim Hutchings, how much can you bench press?
About 300 pounds. I work out about 3 days a week, and I curl 75-pound dumbbells, preacher curl. I'm pretty proud of that because I work
Okay.
out at a bodybuilder gym, and I hold my own pretty good with some
But
of these.
that's a dumbbell curl. What is your bench press weight?
About a little over 300 pounds, but I'm getting
300 pounds.
You,
Wow.
you know, you could come pretty close to bench pressing 2 of me.
have one Tim Howell on each side.
yeah.
Wow. Well, the reason why I asked that is that I can't remember who it was in the chat. I think it was Jordan P. maybe who was in the chat the other day. Because when Big Tim shows up, ask him how much he can best bench press. I said, okay, I will do that. And I said, nobody else on the internet's going to be asking you how much you bench press. So,
Well, I did post one of my exercise videos for him because I have a line of t-shirts that I do that I designed and everything.
Oh, I remember. It was Johnny G. So if you remember Johnny G, is he one of your followers?
He is one of my fans. He's one of my best.
Okay.
Best, but he's a really good subscriber and helps me out with themes when I need him. So yeah, I believe he's on the other side of the pond too.
Oh, okay. So he's real close to you. You're wonderful guys. Yes. Ask Big Tim his shoe size. Oh, okay. We're gonna get personal here. What's your shoe size?
Way to go, Lewis.
So we can't show the video, but so he and Lewis and I had the exact same tennis shoe, same color, everything, but different sizes. So one morning, he decided to switch shoes. His are smaller than mine. There, and I wear a 13, he wears a 10, and somehow on, and the other one I just could not. And I'm like, did my feet swell overnight? So I was hurting. I was like, in my mind, because the one was on, but it hurt so bad. I'm like, oh my God, today's going to be terrible. But he's over there filming me and laughing so hard.
He's like, who's? Well, apparently you made Karen snort her Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
She just confessed that on our YouTube channel.
I didn't catch the beginning of that.
Day of my life. It was epic. So
I was standing a little ways away, and I kind of looked over, and I saw Tim kind of struggling with his shoe, and I happened to then see Lewis just kind of holding his camera up like this, and I was looking, and I think Lewis kind of winked or nodded at me a little bit. I thought, okay, I'm just gonna sit back and see what goes on here.
Wow, so you guys are all in cahoots with each other.
They did. Because I had just set my shoes there and I went to do something real quick. Or no, I think it was Alex distracted me or something. And they swapped them, I think. They tried to get
Alex can be distracting.
Good times, good times.
Well, I think just from also the banter in the chat about some of these stories, you can tell how much you guys love each other. That's awesome.
Oh yeah. And it was almost instantaneous. I mean, it was incredible. That's one thing I told somebody in production. I said, I don't know who decides who gets on the show or how it's figured out, but I said they're either a genius or just that intuitive, because they see whole 12 teams out of all these teams. Because last season was the same way. I mean, you saw how they meshed so well for the most part, and it's just incredible. So kudos to whoever that person or people are, because they have a very
Yeah, it's definitely a combination of people. It's casting, right? That they put all the teams together, and then on top of the chemistry that you all have to learn how to build or know how to build, and having all that combination together. You're right. It's an art, right, to put this all together. It looks like Alex did agree with you too.
Yeah.
He was in on it.
Oh man.
Paul and Nalita.
Paul and Nalita, yeah.
Yes.
They were so much fun. Typical siblings.
Well, also they're from Wisconsin, and so cheese is a big thing. And I wonder if that's why they started off with wearing yellow for this. Because if you've been to Wisconsin and a Green Bay Packers game, you know that they have the big cheese heads that they talk about. I'll have to ask when they're on the show. They'll be on the show in a couple weeks.
Yeah. One of our days off, which we didn't have much of, Paul and Ben and I went out. The hotel had a little basketball court outside, so we went out. We had a good shoot around for a while there. That was the story. I didn't have more to it. Sorry, yeah, you put me up there. That's it. Story's done.
Sounds like a story. Okay.
Yeah, no, we shot some hoops together, but we had a good time.
That's good. You had some, downtime outside of camera time.
A little bit.
That's all right.
Hey, there we go.
Hey.
And our last team, Jordan, Chris.
Now,
guys,
does Chris prefer to be called Bronx because he referred to himself as Bronx in the pre-interviews that we had with Endemol Shine? Did you guys call him Bronx on the show, or did you call him Chris?
I called him Chris, but I think, and that might be something from the military days too. So, because he is a vet, and so that might be because he's from New York too, originally from Bronx. So
yeah.
Well, good news is that I'm not going to be here next week, so we have Tacos Blendino from season 3. She prefers to go by Tacos, and her name's Christine, and she's also from the Bronx. So it should be fun Bronx talk next week. I'm going to miss it, but I'm going to be at Disneyland.
Ooh,
that she is.
I won't be able to do that.
So after, I don't know, 3 or 4 days of being where we were for filming, I kind of noticed that Chris Bronx wore a different Yankees hat every day.
Oh,
and
interesting.
And I'm an Astros fan, so yeah, But anyway, so I said, so how many Yankees hats do you have? And he asked, with me or total?
Oh, that's good. That's good.
I don't remember the answer to either one, but it was just kind of funny how we looked at him. Yeah.
That sounds like my dad. My dad's a veteran too, and he has so many hats, and I don't know why. So baseball caps, just from different places he's visited and things. And the one that always makes me laugh so much is he has a Spam hat that he wears, and it just says Spam on it.
Oh,
and people comment about him as the Spam guy. It's like, Dad, do you have to wear that hat? He goes, I like this hat. It's like, okay, all right, Spam guy. But,
great.
All right.
Cool. So now we know all the teams.
Yep.
Okay.
And Naomi,
I'll change the view again for this one. There we go. The brief. So something that PT and I talked about with LEGOMasters New Zealand is that we noticed in the US that sometimes people misinterpreted the brief. Like, for example, in the rodeo episode, that some people had measured from the seat to the top of the mock versus from the stirrups to the top of the mock. So we said, you know what, we should have a brief slide. What was the actual brief? What was it that these contestants were supposed to do? And in this case, we had the party boat on Brick Lake. So you build a boat base, you build the boat on the base that was provided to you, and that you had 10 hours to do it. and you had to shoot for big, beautiful boats with great details. And also, this is very common, is to show a little bit about who you are as a team, and it should be represented in the build. And it was interesting because when we talked with some of the contestants, they already knew that that's part of what you're supposed to do, is talk about yourselves. And I guess in your case, Tim and Tim, you had already known each other too for a long time. And so when you heard about this challenge, did your idea come to mind right away, or did you have to kind of think about it a little bit?
I had the name of the boat within about a minute of hearing the challenge.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where it came from, but spinning around my head, somewhere throughout didn't air on the show, but somewhere in the announcement of the challenge was something about
Right.
your punny boat names and stuff like that.
Ah.
So stuff was running through my head, and I hit fire sale and thought that is cool. I don't know what it is, but I like that name.
It's a pun, right?
Yeah.
Fire sale.
Yeah.
Played right into it. So
Yeah, it's a beautiful boat too, by the way, or
thank you.
ship.
Thank
That's
you.
another thing, is that he kept referring to them as boats, but I think technically they were ships.
Yeah.
So,
No,
and then here's a question from the chat. Debo asked, could your build touch the water or extend into the water? Were you allowed to do that?
I think we were limited on how far down from that base we could go, if I remember right, because they took an actual remote controlled boat and slid it into that gap, between those pontoons. So that had to fit in.
Okay.
Yeah.
But apparently there's no rule about it touching the water. So I guess if you had maybe like one of those small sails, you could, the lightweight ones, not a brick built sail, you could have it hanging off, possibly.
Maybe. I know there was a rule about how far to the side anything could extend, and it wasn't very far. You couldn't stick out very far. And there was something about distance forward, and I can't remember if it was a maximum or a minimum, if they wanted us to go at least a certain.
Right.
I don't know. But I know there was some, and initially there was a maximum height requirement, and then partway through they said, no, forget that, make it as tall as you want.
Oh, what's interesting is we had this discussion with Yo-Yo about the pirate ship build. And in their case, he said it was a short and stubby pirate ship because it had to fit on the platform for the explosion. And that he said it was really uncomfortable for him because he's used to building really large pirate ships. But he built a template, and then from that template, people could use it to measure to make sure that things were aligned with each other. Did anybody in the room have a template of some sort that they used, or they just decided because the frame is there right in front of you, they just stayed within the frame?
I think pretty much worked with the boat. But with that pontoon,
just the pontoon.
I mean, I think some of them went over, because like Poppy. Well, I won't. We'll wait till we get there. But I think I don't remember anybody being picking out really far.
Emily says, "Oops, here we go. Sorry." Emily says there was, Karen. It could go off by 5 studs or down no lower than 12 studs.
Okay.
So
yeah, that was clearance to allow the other boat to go in.
Yeah,
but on ours,
interesting. Okay.
On ours, the front mast, I think, if you look at the bottom of the mast to the top of it, I think that was the original height restriction. And so you can see on ours, on here, it is now built up. So I had that mast and sail built, and it was basically coming straight off that flat base.
Right.
And then they took the height restriction off, and I said, oh, okay. I pulled the mast off, and we built some more stuff, and then put it back on higher.
They wanted more drama.
Yeah.
Yep.
Make it taller. Make it as tall as you want.
Brickmasters want big.
But as you see from the competition, we had to, we had a lot of people we had to compete with for that. So we had to make it bigger and bolder. So
right. Now, yours was animated too. Did they tell you that it was going to be animated right after the beauty shots, or when did you find out, or did you find out after the edit was done?
Couple days after the challenge,
Yeah, because
somebody
they
came
wanted.
by and said, "Yeah, we're thinking about animating it," and they asked a couple of questions about what was what and stuff.
Oh,
I
cool.
loved how you included football because I love football. I've moved my streams from Sunday just so I could watch football.
So, okay, here's
just-
another funny thing. I built a TV screen, and you can't see it from this angle. It's on that side.
Uh-huh.
And I snot built it with, studs going sideways or like that. And I put on it a yellow and red LM.
Oh, nice.
At some point during the challenge, one of the producers walked by and looked and said, "No logos, can't have any logos." And I kind of looked at him, and I was working on the other side. I had completely forgotten about it. I kind of looked at him, what? And he's points right there. And I looked at it, said, "Really? It's just 2 letters, no logos." So I had to pull that screen off and rebuild it. And I just kind of jumbled it and made it sort of staticky. In the judging presentations, what I said was, Texans at their barbecues love to watch football, but in this case, maybe they're watching their favorite brick building competition. And then later in the animation, they changed it to football. So,
well, lucky for me, they've changed it to football. I was cheering for that. I said, yes, I'm glad because, I've had a conflict because it's also on Thursday night, which is Thursday night football.
Yep.
So if they go over, if football goes over, it goes against my viewing of LEGOMasters. So, anyway, sorry about that. I had to get off my soapbox for a minute.
What else?
Now, Karen asks, who had the flames out the back? Does anybody remember about which ship had the flames coming out the back? Was that yours?
Yeah, their sails were on fire.
The sails were on fire, but she was asking about the back.
But not out the back. That might have been Christopher and Robert. They might have had some. I don't know.
Oh, because they had the dragon, right?
Yeah.
Or no, not Christopher and Robert. Jordan and Chris.
Yeah.
Oh, Jordan and Chris.
Oh yeah.
Well, they had the dragon on top.
Yeah.
Speaking of Christopher and Robert.
Yeah. Because I'm wandering around.
This was a beautiful build.
Party pontoon. I'm missing a P.
Pitch party pagoda. Yes.
Yeah, that pagoda, that was just really beautiful. A lot of great details
and they had that done really early. I mean, it seemed really early. It was, they jumped on that, and
right.
It seemed to me like an hour into the challenge they had that built. It couldn't have been that fast, but it was.
Wow.
Well,
they were right next to us to our right, and so we were peeking at them a lot.
He's a YouTuber as well, and he revealed one of his secrets on his stream. So I'm just repeating what he said on his stream, that they knew that the first challenge was going to be about themselves. And that he's a set builder. So he remembered how to do certain structures from different sets. And one of them was the horse. So he remembered how to build the horse, and then he figured he could put some sort of unicorn horn coming out of it. But what was hilarious too, and I'm sure everybody in the chat who was on that stream, it's like he did it on StreamYard, but StreamYard has a maximum of 10 people. So it was like midway through his stream, he's saying, somebody's going to have to go in the back, and I'm going to redo this through Teams. And but it was just, I kudos to Christopher and Robert and his co-host, because managing all y'all talking at the same time.
all y'all is a correct phrasing here. Yes.
Yes. Oh my God. I was like, that's why we kind of stagger it with a couple teams or a couple people at a time. It's just easier so everybody has a chance to say something.
So I don't know if this was intentional, and I didn't quite catch this until I looked at these pictures yesterday. But they've got this little rocket coming off the side there, which to me really looks like an old classic space rocket with the black and white. I don't know if that is an intentional reference or were the pieces that were available or what.
I think it was probably intentional, just from the way he talked on his stream about their strategy. I think he probably had that in the back of his mind. Where can I put a rocket? And then I know how to build a rocket. I'm going to put it over here. Yeah. And this was just amazing, just putting that all together. And it's certainly.
I would not have been surprised to see that one up in the top 2.
Oh, Here's one of my followers. Hey, how's it going? This is Juan, also from Miami, by the way. Velet Samoro, who's also known as Yin Yang 847 on Twitch. How's it going? We have two other Miami people in the chat. We have Alex as well as Luis, aka Luis, who are in the chat as well. So Miami represent.
Oh, the Rocktopus.
The Rocktopus. Allison and Melanie, yes. This is so on brand for them too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the size and the color on this one. It just comes right out at you.
Actually, that's what Allison and Melanie is one of their superpowers. So you had a conversation with Mike from Talk Bricks, and he always asks all the contestants, "What's your superpower?" And they replied, "Color." We use lots of color.
Yes, they do.
Yes.
So this one again, as I was just looking at it yesterday, I hadn't realized you can see the pink one ukulele on the right. You can see the back of it, that it's all these 2x2 bricks. And I'm just trying to think, how do you, and we got what, maybe about 3 layers, and how do you stack that with 2x2s and still make it sturdy enough? Because you're just putting one corner on another corner. And so that's really got me kind of baffled. Yeah. I mean, there's got to be some plates on there or something to hold all that together. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Maybe a row of plates somewhere to.
It looks like it could be a row of plates because of the color differential. I don't know if you can zoom in at all, PT, but the it looks like a hatch pattern on the back of that ukulele on the pink one.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Oh, okay. Maybe not.
Oh yeah, there's a layer of plates right here on the.
There we go.
Right
Even
there.
so,
So
yeah.
it's 2 brick and then plates.
Yep.
Well, I mean, I would assume there were at least 2x4s, if not longer, bricks on there. But it's not. That's really neat.
And that's also pretty clever because there's a bigger chance of you finding lots of pink 2x2s because of the brick heads, right?
Yeah.
So if you want to use pink, 2x2s are your friend.
Yeah.
And then, yep. So here, Debo says 2x2 bricks and plates.
Okay.
Pineapple. Aubrey and Ryan.
Ooh. Yeah, that skirting around there, that was really well.
That is so nice. I love that skirting.
Yeah. And this one really stood out. So, one of the things that I think Jamie Berard likes to talk about is the 10-3-1 rule, where something should be from 10 feet away. It should have something big and bold to grab your attention. And as you get to 3 feet away, you're finding some new things. And then you get into just 1 foot away and you find all the tiny little fun in it. And this one has a lot of that, with that pineapple right there to grab you right at the front.
Yeah.
Wow, those trees are phenomenal too.
In this one, you can actually hear the music, right? When you look at this build,
Yes.
You can hear the Luau music there.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, Emily, are your ears burning now?
Yeah.
We're talking about you, Emily and Kelly.
I do have a question. When at the end you guys put them in the lake and you wrote, was there a rule that you had to go around the lake once or something and to a certain point, or was it just get in and go?
There was a path we had to follow.
Got it.
But they also changed it a couple times during judging too. It's like,
oh, really?
Oh, that was really them or us being in our driving abilities.
Emily's telling us to please be nice when we talk about her.
Emily, you gave me a hug. Of course, I'm going to be nice to you.
Well, of course, plus you also encouraged them by, indicating that they were spelling a victory and you did have the right letter of the alphabet.
Yes, I see it's a V. Yes.
It is a V. Yay.
I will say this boat crashing was epic, Emily. It crashed beautifully.
Yes, it did.
I was worried about this because it looked top heavy to me too. And we'll talk more about the other top heavy boat, but this one, I was glad that it was floating and it was able to drive along, in the water. But when it crashed, I was like, oh wow, yeah.
I mean, they were next to us on the other side, so we were kind of peeking at them too. And
Right.
I know they had some struggles getting going too. But there's some things I really like. The bow on this one, it's done with bent flexible tubing and flag parts, and then those cantilevers, those two upper levels.
Yeah.
Structurally, they're just sitting on these two posts at the back and sticking way out like that.
Right.
It's a great look. I know Kelly is the detail expert of anybody, and give them another hour or so on this one, and I'm sure they would have totally detailed this out.
She also mentions too that it was a huge learning curve for them, and I love those turtles though. The turtles were adorable and a real showcase for this particular build. And I do think the use of the windows was good to start building height quickly as well, to give at least the bottom layer, and to give it visual interest.
Yeah, it gives it a nice ship look, like a cruise liner.
Yeah.
Then you
but it was top heavy, so unfortunately we all know what happened with that. Now, since you're in the chat, what's the top say? It looks like you were trying to spell something out at the very top, like win or something, or is that victory too and smaller? It looks like win from this angle.
I think so.
At the very top. I don't know if you can clue us in on what that was. When I first saw the green, I thought it was almost like a basketball court.
Yeah, there we go.
Win. Okay, yes, I got it right. Win.
I think the green is a tennis court. I think there's a net across.
There's a tennis court. Oh, okay. Okay, great. It's a game night boat. Okay, all different types of games we love. Okay, so was it a tennis court then? And having two builders is hard. I'm proud of going big, and I'm grateful for Kelly. Well, it seems like you two really love each other, which is great. Okay, so I think we all know that with that that little bit of drama for that one, it was also a little nerve-wracking because we kind of saw, it's like when the train wreck is going to happen, and you're like, no, don't. Yeah.
I can say though driving those boats was a little more difficult than you would have thought.
Yeah, I would imagine. Did they give you a chance to test drive it before?
A little bit of practice time, but not a lot. No.
Because I think with season 3, they let them practice with the dogs as far as pulling their mocks along the carpet. But did you had a little bit of practice time with the boats too?
Little, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because it would have been if we'd have just put them in the water and started going. You would have seen probably a lot more crashes, I believe.
I hadn't thought about that, but maybe that's why they didn't give us more time, is they didn't want to sweep parts out of the lake all.
Oh, it would have been free for all.
Yeah.
That's funny. Okay, so Mike and Brad.
So this was the best 4-hour build I've seen, basically.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think having writer's block or builder's block, it's hard for anybody, and you got all the lights on you. It's your first time on the show. And they also had mentioned that, I think similar to what Kelly was saying, that getting used to where everything is and building as a team, and this whole dynamic of being with all those bricks. Sometimes having too many bricks, you have too many choices, right?
Yeah. All right. Did my video freeze up again?
Yep. Your video froze again. It happened in the preliminaries when we were testing, right. So you know what to do.
I'm going to duck out for a minute. I'll be right back.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, but one thing I will say is that I asked Mike and Brad about the BS on the front. It's prominently shown there. And what's interesting is that they said that the original was supposed to be LS for Love Shack. So the original name of this build was supposed to be Love Shack. And what happened is that they were told late in the game that they couldn't use Love Shack because I guess for, intellectual property or what have you. So he said, I could make a B pretty easily, from the L. So then they had to pivot. And I think he said it was like, I don't know, half an hour before they were supposed to decide.
wow.
And they had to change it to BS. But I thought it was similar to season 3 with the superhero initiate training camp.
Right.
That I thought it was, okay, they've got to be playing on that. But the inside story is that it was Love Shack, because that's, part of, how they met too, is this van that they had. Before I heard the name of the boat, I thought the BS was commentary about the time limit. Yes, yeah. Very true. The Bear Shack. Yeah, the Bear Shack. And like I said he had to pivot quickly because it was supposed to be the Love Shack. And I had asked too if they were B-52 fans, and it's pretty clear they were B-52 fans too.
I'm just, knowing how long they were stuck and how long they actually spent building, looking at the size of this and the colors, and it's not just stacked bricks, right along the side, there's this fine little detail with dots parts.
Oh,
and that front grill. And I mean, there's some really fantastic stuff on there.
And the other thing he mentioned is that on the top, you can't really see it at this angle, but there's a shark in the top, and that there's this like wave motion. And when you watch them driving it in the lake, that they deliberately tried to get as much motion as they could to see if they could get more water, I think, and more movement. So that was also interesting to see all that. But I agree with you. There's so much detail that they were able to get in the short amount of time. And they also gave kudos to the whole team, by the way. So everybody who's listening, that they said many of you jumped in to put in minifigures onto the build to help them out because they were running short on time. Brick Jedi's here. Hey, Brick Jedi. Good to see you. That's some sweet dots action. That's right. Definitely.
All right, Jordan and Chris.
Castle on the Lake. Yeah. This was gorgeous. This was really amazing. Yeah, I mean, getting the movement on there and the castle parts.
Yeah. And of course, the color. And Amy was quick to point out she needs more color.
Yeah.
I see this gray blob here. I'd like to see more color.
This is a great example of build what you know. I mean, they're castle people, castles and dragons. Like, all right. My guess is they probably had in their minds, first challenge, we're going to build a castle no matter what the challenge is. We're going to just make it work.
It's on brand for them, and it's also, like you said, playing to their strengths. And I think with there's a lot of references you can pull from with the whole castle theme.
Yeah, I noticed in the corner here, did they have in the brick pit a bunch of minifig hands? Or did they have to pull those off all of these minifigs?
Probably had to pull them loose.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, I don't remember separate hands.
Yeah, right here,
wow.
The wings.
That is a pretty cool detail.
And so for the rest of the season, all the minifigures are handless.
Oh, yeah.
But that is an interesting detail that they would think about taking the hands off and putting them on the back sail like that. They ripped them. So, yep, Karen confirms. They ripped them off. Well, it would be on point for Castle, right? A pretty barbaric thing to do.
Yeah, exactly. That is too funny. All right.
Oh, I loved this.
Did we do Poppy and Ben already?
Oh my gosh.
Not their boat.
We talked about them, but not their ship.
Not their boat. Yeah.
I'm going to still call it a ship. But I guess they're calling it a boat because it's on a pontoon. Somebody look this up for me.
Fine.
The difference between a ship and a boat.
I don't know.
See, to me, a boat is like a rowboat, a small little, maybe outboard motor, 2 to 3 people. A ship is something that you might have, 50 people on, right?
Yeah. So this one, sometimes when I see a build or something, I think about it sort of in relation to drawing for some reason. And some things I think of and I look at and I think, well, that was drawn with like a crayon, or that was drawn with a marker or a pencil. This one I think of is drawn with a super fine tip pen.
Nice.
Just tiny little lines, and this is a compliment, Ben, Poppy.
Well, Ben's an architecture student, right?
Yeah, he's an architecture student, and I mean that's part of why I think it resonates with me too. My past architectural experience, but I can almost see sitting there at a drawing table, not on a computer, drawing table with a pen, making each of the lines on this and making a really fine, beautiful drawing out of it.
Yes.
Well, and that's on my phone, and the image is probably an inch by an inch. And even at that small size, the details are just popping out. So yeah, it's really, really beautiful.
Architectural fine point, definitely, Karen. And then also they had some rad movement. Agreed. The whole nuclear powered, was it a paddle wheel boat?
Yeah, fusion powered paddle boat. All right, Naomi, I have an answer here. It says large ocean-faring watercraft, those that use multiple sails or engines, are more properly called ships. In contrast, the word ship isn't commonly applied to smaller craft. So ships are bigger, multi-sail, multi-engine.
Okay, I think I win.
I don't know. These only had one engine.
Well, that's one, but
we had 2 sails.
That's true.
Timinators had 2 sails. I would argue that Karen's probably would qualify as a ship because it had multiple people on it.
Pull the audience, see what they say.
Okay, I think we should lobby that this should be shipbuilding, not boat building.
Well,
we haven't looked up the definition of pontoon yet, though.
Or a floating bus, so.
Yeah, a floating bus. Yeah, that's true. The BS bus.
Oh,
Cheddar, DJ, what is it? Cheddar? DJ Cheddar?
Hey, Cheddar.
Yeah.
Actually, I did have a pun for the BS too. See, if you merged your ship with the Bear Shack, then it could be the bullship.
Wonk, wonk.
Wah. Okay, like I said, comedians, don't worry, you can keep your jobs.
Yeah.
Okay, so Karen called theirs the shoe boat.
That's yours.
So not the shoe ship.
A shoe ship?
Shoe ship.
See, you could have had a lot of fun with ship.
Did they have motion on? I couldn't remember. Did they have motion on their DJ? Were they dancing?
I don't think so. I think they talked about DJ Cheddar, but I don't remember things moving and dancing.
Okay, I didn't know if there was dancing. I couldn't recall.
Yeah, this one I thought that was a really good personal reference. I really liked a lot how they pulled that, and I love the cow modeling along the side.
Yeah, I did too. I like that.
Yeah, definitely. This is great.
That was nice.
Are those? I had not looked at this. Are those 1,000 cheese wedges on the side of?
It looks to be that, yeah.
Well, of course, it should be, yes.
I was going to say there's cheese wedges everywhere.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, DJ Cheddar out of cheese wedges. Yeah, 2 rows right across. I see that. Oh, funny.
It might have been an hour on that. Wow.
Well, I like the fact that this goes back to what I was mentioning earlier about how they're dressed with the bright yellow, right? So the whole bright yellow of DJ Cheddar is so on point for this group.
Yeah.
Oh, and I just remembered the thing that was so funny that didn't make it on the air. I don't know if everybody else has to remember this that was there. So Paul was driving, and they showed him crash the boat, and he did a lot more driving and crashing from what I remember than what they actually aired. And once he's done, and there's some carnage and all that, crashed. Will Arnett pauses, and he looks over and says, "Nolita, what's one of your jobs?" And Nolita says, "I'm a driver's ed instructor."
Oh man!
I thought for sure
Surely
that would make it on the show.
Paul
It was so
Paul didn't
funny.
go to class.
Yeah.
Paul-
we all just died. Yeah.
Well, they didn't really show this one crashing that much, though.
Yeah, I guess they cut that. It did a little bit, but yeah, there was
Yeah.
more crashing and bad driving from what I remember.
Right.
Was that when we were practicing though?
No, that was in judging. We were there all lined up on the risers.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll ask them when they're on the show in a
Yeah.
couple weeks.
How funny!
Sorry, I hope they weren't saving that for their show, but I had to say.
Oh no, it's
No,
okay.
no.
Don't worry, because every show we're gonna review a different episode, so we'll do a callback to this
That's
episode
right.
when they're on. And apparently, Karen says it was in judging when all the carnage took place.
On theirs or yours?
Well, apparently, I guess when you were talking about, the boat running into things, it was during the judging part. Now, I have to say, since we have the beauty shot up, this is absolutely stunning. This boat, since you called it a shoe boat, I would call it a shoe ship, but the shoe boat is absolutely amazing. I absolutely love this, and you must have been tickled to see it was also animated too.
Oh yeah.
I think if this one had floated, it would have been in the top 2.
Mm-hmm.
I really think so. I mean, first of all, it's size. They love size.
Yeah.
Bold color. They love bold
Mhm.
colors.
And the
then there's
shape.
a billion little details, and it's
Yeah.
all very personal. I mean, it's everything they want from a build.
It's too funny.
It's a schooner.
Oh man!
Oh, this one,
The
Tim,
old woman who
do
lived
you
in a shoe.
remember? Didn't they have a problem at the beginning of judging? Didn't something come apart and they had to fix it in a hurry? Do you remember that?
I think that
Well, Karen should remember. But one thing I want to mention before you get off of the SOS, I was wondering if that was foreshadowing. When it said SOS on the side. It should have been SS, right? So when you put SOS on there, I was like, I'm not sure if that's what they meant. But
That's funny.
No. Anyway, I think there was something where they had you're given, if something happens like after the build has done, as you're getting ready to judge, if something happens, they give you, I can't remember, 5 minutes, something like that. And
that happened.
I think
with the
something
sculpting
fell off or
challenge with the
something,
dogs.
and they were scrambling to,
Yeah, they had 5 minutes for that. And yes, but a
Cast
cast member made that fall, so we had some extra time there to fix it back.
Okay, that's what it was.
Okay.
I do remember a countdown on the time though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting.
So they didn't show that on the air,
No,
the 5 minute repair part.
no. Maybe I wasn't supposed to say that. Sorry.
Well, it's interesting because we all know that because of season 3.
Yeah.
That was the first time they revealed that. There was just so much to cover in this episode. Plus, you have to give lots of time to Will, which
Yes.
we'll get to in a moment. So,
Well, I want to say something about that because it probably won't ever come up. So, Will is a big part of why I wanted to be on this show. I've enjoyed him forever in all the other things he did. And so for the 3 years that we went through the process and all that, I had spent a lot of time coming and watching, the past seasons and thinking through my head how to interact with him and all that stuff. And I had all this stuff, and I got it in on this episode, and none of that. They cut our entire little thing with him. So
you worked so hard.
Gone.
But you have the memories.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and nothing else. I got to have the experience with him, and that means a lot too. So.
So Karen mentions that I guess if it was 2, but we went way over.
2 minutes of repair.
2 minutes
Yeah,
to be able to. Oh, okay. And then the best comment of all these boats was on this one. And Jamie said, this boat could be a Lego set.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. This is really clean. I mean, you hardly
Hardly have any stud showing anywhere, really.
Oh, yeah.
Simple. Yeah.
Yeah.
Luke is just a phenomenal builder, and it shows right here. I mean, because he, he's got his museum build that he's. I've got to see at Brick Road.
We watched the building of that on his Instagram stream, where he's got the fast speed going. It's not stop motion. What am I trying to say?
He is.
Time lapse.
Time lapse. Thank you.
He's awesome.
Yeah, I think they were using the same fine point pen Ben and Poppy were using.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Good night, Debo. Thanks
Good
for
night.
hing with us. He's on the East Coast, so he's like it's past his bedtime. Okay. Thanks, Debo. We'll see you soon. Yeah, I love these beauty shots that they gave us too. Oops, can you go back?
Oh, sorry, yeah. Let me go back.
So especially since both Lewis and Alex are here, I also like the motion that they had on the apple that was spinning around, and that the party time is when the kids aren't there. That was nice, and that kind of brought the banter, because I guess the part they cut for you, Tim, is that they gave it to Lewis and Alex for their banter here. So. And the palm trees, I think, too, were kind of a callback to Miami, I think. They didn't really mention that on the show.
Yeah.
But I think also bringing the palm trees in onto the boat was also a good touch. Plus the colors, too. The colors, to me, had a very Miami vibe to it.
Well, I can say my daughter is a teacher, and she would highly agree with them about the part after the kids are gone.
Party time!
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's great.
All right.
Yes, Nina and Sam's the teapot trawler. OMG.
Yep.
So amazing on so many different levels of this. I mean, Amy talked a lot about this, the use of the color and how it was very definitive. It wasn't just like slapped on there, but just very bold and bright colors here. I love the leaves. They didn't really mention too much about the leaves at the top to kind of give it some visual interest. And of course, the actual text, the teapot trawler, it's just gorgeous. And of course, the teapot on top in the motion of the teapot.
Yeah.
And I think it was on Christopher's thing, Nina was talking about how the leaves and the plants are meant to represent specific plants or herbs or something. They're not just leaves thrown on there as decoration. It was really meant to be ingredients in the tea.
Because tea leaves, right?
Right. It was meant to be this particular plant or leaf or something, and I don't know what they were. Yeah.
And I agree, Brick Jedi, the teapot is awesome. Yes. And the fact that they did an homage to Nina's mother, too, for this particular build.
Yeah.
Well, and that's something, too. Could you work with your parent that well to do something like that? That's a lot for their relationship and how well they work together, because, I love my dad's been gone for a long time, and that's kind of what's bittersweet for me, because he was a model builder. In fact, you can see behind me these airplanes hanging in the ceiling are his remote control planes. And I think he would have just been over the top about all this and doing the conventions and stuff. So I I think that's awesome that the two of them got to have that experience and the way they work together. I mean, it's just
Right.
phenomenal. So
Now you mentioned the airplanes, but we can't really see them in this shot. Can you angle your camera a little bit?
Yeah,
Wow.
thing's got a 6-foot wingspan.
Wow.
Had weed eater motors is what he built to power that thing.
Wow.
You know, I hate to tell you this.
Right.
I hate to tell you this, but I think he built it upside down.
Yeah.
I almost was going to say something. I'm glad you said it.
You know how long that thing's been hanging up there? Probably 50 some years.
Wow. Well, we should also mention Tim Hutchings is actually broadcasting from his childhood home, too.
I grew up pretty much here from age 10 till, well, you know what? I was actually had my detective agency back in this very room when I moved to Texas in '95. So I spent a lot of time back in this room.
Wow. Now that's another story. We'll have to have you back to talk about your detective agency someday.
Oh, he's got a million jobs to tell you about. I think every interview we were in, I heard about a new one that I hadn't known about.
Oh, wow. And Karen also mentions that they adore each other. Yes, definitely. Nina and Sam are just amazing couple to watch in this build. And there's the wide shot of Brick Lake.
Yeah. And then, of course, after the judging, they came up with the winners. And that was Nina and Sam.
Hey.
That first challenge.
Now, I got this from, I think, Duck Bricks episode. They didn't announce the second place winners, but the second place winners were Jordan and Chris. With their dragon build and the castle build. So I guess they either ran out of time for the editing, but they did that also in season 3. But season 3 was a different reason. That's because the firefighters were swearing so much. They couldn't use the footage when they were announcing the second place. So they had to cut it. But they must have ran out of time because they could have mentioned it, but they didn't. So just anybody out there, kudos to Jordan too, and to Chris for your build, coming in second place.
Very nice.
But I was betting on the teapot trawler because we had a watch party going on, and we were all kind of chatting about who we thought was going to win, and I said I called it. I called it the teapot trawler.
Well, that was it. They not only had a beautiful build, but they had the movement in there too. I mean, how do you compete with that?
Yeah.
It was beautiful. And I'm not sure about this comment, Karen, where they imagined "Be We Sailed."
Huh?
Is that a quote from another book? Where they imagined "Be We Sailed." Okay, I still don't understand. Sorry. I tried to, put some flair to it.
Sounds like poetry to me.
It sounds like poetry. Yeah. It could
they-
be Talk Like a Pirate Day. Where they imagined "Be We Sailed." Okay, I still don't understand.
No.
It doesn't sound right when I'm wearing a cowboy hat. I got to have like another hat for the pirate hat.
You just need an iPad to go along with it, and you'd be set.
Okay, here we go. Brick Lake. Rendered pic of all of us floating. Oh, okay. Okay, now I get it. Okay. Arg. Brick Lake. Rendered pic of all of us be floating.
That's funny.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you. Thank you for clarifying that. Okay, now here comes the sad part. The bottom 2 teams.
Yep. So the bottom 2 teams there, Mike and Brad and Emily and Kelly. And then I think it was because of the crash? Is that why Emily and Kelly?
I think it was a combination of things because, I mean, there's other teams that crashed as well or couldn't float. But I think you have to look at the entire composition
Gotcha.
And at least, I mean, I wasn't a judge, but I'm just guessing that that's part of what it was. And I think if you look at both of these two teams, that they didn't have as many details as all the other teams' boats or ships that we saw.
Oh yeah, you're right. When you talked about the details.
Hmm. Yeah, even I think, was it Amy who said, you know, we loved your ship, but there weren't enough details in it. And I think both of these teams got that feedback.
Gotcha. And then sadly, we said goodbye to Mike and Brad.
So one thing about that judging that's excruciating is when you watch it on the show, they say, you know, the one that has to go home is, and there's a pause, and then they say who it is. In reality, when you're standing here, they stretch that out. I mean, it is a long pause. And
Oh wow.
yeah, it's, and then they decide how much to cut, and you know how whatever.
So they must do that.
And you can see Jamie and Amy are very carefully looking back and forth between the two, so they don't try to give it away.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I think they do that and pause it so that then in editing they can figure out exactly what look and what length of time they want to do. But
Well, they have to do all the close-ups too, right? Of
Right,
each of the
yeah.
faces of the teams
Yeah.
as they're hearing the news.
But I remember standing there thinking, just tell us.
Well, you were probably relaxed though. You weren't one of the two teams that were up there. I imagine that poor Kelly and Emily were, and of course Mike and Brad were like, "Come on, tell us," and they're trying to make us cry.
Yeah, we don't want anybody to go home, but at some point you want to know who it is. So.
Yeah.
Well, it's also the drama, right? Because
Right.
it is a reality show, so to increase the drama, they have to put you on pins and needles. Okay, so here's my question. The whole thing about, you know, hey, I see something shiny in the lake, and he's reeling in that thing.
I'll be
now,
honest.
I have to say, I have not timed it.
Attention
But-
to him.
You
That
can pay
whole
attention to it.
stick, you know, it's all a Will Arnett thing, right? To give him more airtime, which to me didn't really add a lot of value to the show. I mean, what were you guys thinking when that was happening? Did you really think maybe the golden brick was going to come? Or to me, it was like way too soon that they would have a golden brick moment.
Like I said, I was over in the corner looking for stuff. I wasn't even paying attention.
Yeah. I think I kind of looked up and went back to building, thought, well, it's the brick or it's not, you know, it's not going to, not really going to change what I need to do right now.
Right. It's when they say, stop the clock.
Yes.
Then you start panicking, right? Okay. So you kind of already knew that it probably wasn't a big issue.
And even if it was the golden brick, you know, we were pretty well into the build at that point. I don't know that it would have changed a whole lot what we did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know, PT, what did you think when that whole golden brick thing came about? Or the golden stick, right, is what they call it.
Yeah, the golden stick. Yeah, I think when you look at it and when they kind of put that in, I don't think they've ever done it in the first round.
No,
Yeah.
it was way too early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually when they kind of up it, because this is always that learning, like they said, that watching the teams learn, you know, under the cameras and the lights and getting going. So, yeah.
So Karen was in the brick pit too. I missed it.
I missed all the excitement.
Well, I think maybe too that kind of goes to show that you're so engrossed in getting the build done, and all of this, you know, because 10 hours is not a lot of time. And then when they have this thing going on, when we were interviewing the LEGOMasters New Zealand group, they had only 6 teams, and they had a couple of side moments like that with the guest star, but it wasn't as drawn out, I think, as it was with Will Arnett. So, but I guess he needs his time, right?
Yeah. Well, also I think in New Zealand he used it to usually introduce the twist. You know? So he'd come in, you're like, every time you saw him, you're like, oh, here comes a twist. Although I think twice he brought food, snacks.
Yeah, exactly. It was like, oh, are you hungry? Here, have
Yeah.
some of this fairy bread.
But no.
Well,
So
how's
what's
it
next
feel?
for you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what are you working on? Where are you going next? Any conventions?
Well, I went to BrickCon and Brick Slopes, and of course, Brick Rodeo had that earlier. So, I mean, all of that took some time. I don't really have a good project going on right now, and I would really like one. So, and kind of, trying to figure something out here, and looking ahead to next year's conventions, and planning to look at the calendar soon and try to figure out which ones I'm going to go to.
Mm-hmm.
Hope to make several of them.
Hope you get to Bricks Cascade because both PT and I should be there.
All right, it's definitely under consideration. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, I just wrapped up Brick Convention. That's why I'm here in Kansas at my hometown, because they had a Brick Convention in Wichita.
Oh, nice. Uh-oh. Did you freeze too?
No, it wasn't me. It wasn't me.
There,
no.
No, you're jerking around.
He's back. He's back.
Crazy this interview, and it finally cut out. So I had it had been years since I had been to one of Grayson. He's got the Brick Convention now, so it was good to be back at one of his shows, and I got to meet AC Penn, who has been a hero of mine since I really got into Lego. He used to do the samurai builds, and and then I brought my big Wild West display. That's my main theme, and so I got to bring it to Kansas, and my family got to see it for the first time. And
oh, nice.
It may get to go to Dodge City.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
There's some prominent. It's got a lot of historical figures and stuff, and a lot of them were in Dodge City at one time or another. So it'll really work well for they have some kind of festival there. So I don't know how soon, but
great.
That
totally cool.
What happened there, and I don't know. There's a lot of conventions going on anymore all year round. So
yeah, it's hard to get to so many, and now that you're celebrities, it's a whole new take, right? When you go to a convention than when you were before you were on the show, which is kind of my next question. How's it feel now that people recognize you when you go to a convention, or if you're, out in public? How's life changed for you in that way?
I mean, it's a ton of fun, especially with the kids. I mean, that's the ones who it really excite me from their excitement, and that energizes me. And oh yeah, you're on that show, and I can imagine if I was 8 or 10 years old and watching LEGOMasters, and then being able to see somebody who was on that show, how thrilled I would be. So
yeah,
that's really what I love about it. And getting to the point of, Jen Smart told us a little while ago, you're now people that need to carry a Sharpie with you all the time. You go out, put some stickers in your pocket, put a Sharpie in your pocket, just in case,
Yeah, that's true. And I got a chance to get one of your stickers too when I met you at BrickCon. That was fun. And thank you for signing my poster too.
You're welcome.
I missed you though, Tim Hutchings. I'm Tim's Brick Adventures.
Yeah, I don't know.
I kept looking for you because I remember telling Timmy Howell, I said, okay, hold on to the poster.
That's right. Yeah.
I'm going to look for him. And if he comes back, have him sign the poster. So
yeah, I was looking around. I don't know if you went to dinner or something. Yeah,
no, I was working the show because I was only there for friends and family. Oh, you're talking about Tim. I'm sorry.
I don't know if he ran off to get some food or something. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
It's okay. We'll see each other. I'm really hoping to make it to Brick Rodeo because you're having it on 4th of July this year.
Yep, July 4 to 7, 2024 in Austin.
Yeah, in Austin. I will definitely be in Austin. Now, Timmy Howell, are you in Austin? And Tim's Brick Adventure, are you in Houston, or are you both in Houston?
Both in Houston, yeah.
Both in Houston, okay. Because I'm planning to be in Austin for the solar eclipse. That's coming up April 8th. So I don't know if you're going to be anywhere near the solar eclipse, but that's going to be in the Dallas, Austin area.
Okay, I had not thought about it at all.
All right, so I'll miss you then. So anyway, Lewis says he's going to be there. You're going to be in Bricks Cascade? Is that what you're talking about? If not, another option is Brick World. I was on my stream the other day, and I pretty much committed to Debo and to Alexander 23Z and to Hooded One. All of them said, you got to go to Brick World.
Yeah.
I have not gone to Brick World because it's so large. I'm not really big with those large conventions. So I'm gonna do it. That's my commitment. So maybe I'll see you there.
Yeah, I'm planning on Chicago. I have not been there yet either. So.
Oh, okay. So maybe I'll see you in Chicago. If not, Rodeo could
Yep.
be. That's where Lewis is going to
Yep.
be. And, Brick Rodeo. Okay. Well, I know PT and I will definitely be at Brick's Cascade.
Yeah.
And then Brick Rodeo tickets are on sale now, and they're
Yes.
selling fast. Plug.
Thank you, Bart. Yes, thanks for throwing that out there. Yes.
Okay. Well, I missed. You know why I missed Brick Rodeo this year? Because I had COVID.
That's right.
I got
I
COVID
remember you
like
were
2 days before I was supposed to get on a plane. I was like, oh, like this was the year. I even have the hat.
Yes.
I could even fit in.
Yeah, I remember you had some mocks registered and had a couple of them still show up, right? They came with some?
Yes, my mocks did show up. I had one of my followers, thank you, Zach Martinez, who he was going there. Actually, it was kind of funny. We have this joke that he had not registered a hotel room yet. And then I was getting ready to cancel my hotel room. So I said, why don't you just go ahead and I'll put you down as the second person on my room. So he ended up getting the same hotel rate. So our joke is, yeah, we shared a room virtually. So he was there, I wasn't. Anyway, so great to have you both on the show.
Yeah.
And I hope we get a chance to meet in person again. I know I met you, Timmy Howell. I hope I get to see you, Tim's Brick Adventures as well. And of course, I'm going to see PT McEwen in a couple days.
Yeah.
Right? In a week, roughly.
Yep.
So for those of you who don't know, I will not be on the show next week, but we have a really great guest. We have Tacos Blandino, also known as Christine from season 3. And she's also from the Bronx. And it's going to be great because we have Jordan and Chris that are going to be on the show next week to talk about episode 2. And wanted to just thank everybody again because it's been a wild ride and it's been so much fun hanging out with you. For those of you who aren't already, please like and subscribe to the stream because we provide this entertainment for you for free because you are listening to the Brickanista Broadcast Network here on YouTube and on Rumble. Thank you again, PT McEwen. Always a pleasure co-hosting with you. It's lots of fun. And then if you aren't already, please follow Timmy Howell, also known as Tim Howell on Instagram, and also Tim's Brick Adventures on Instagram, also known as Tim Hutchings.
And
really
YouTube.
Great chatting with both of you.
I'm almost to my 500 subscribers on YouTube. I'll plug that right quick.
Yes,
Hey, there you
please.
go.
I'm in the same boat. I'm at 420. So I'm very close. I've got like 80 subscribers to go. So please tell your friends. And everybody who's been in the chat too. Karen, Lewis, Bart, we had Debo on as well, and Emily and Kelly and Alex and everybody who's been here. If I missed your name, Brick Jedi, all these people who've been, Brickaroo Bonsai was here. I mean, we had so many great people here. So thank you for helping us ask all the questions and also give us some behind the scenes about what it was like to be on the show. It's just so much fun and we really appreciate it. It's going to be fun for the next 11 weeks because we have this booked for the next 12 weeks, Tuesdays to 6 p.m. Pacific time. And hang out after the show's over, Tim and Tim, so we can also just send some thanks to you as well. So anyway, thanks everybody. Really great chatting with you.
Yeah.
As they say on the Brickanista Broadcast Network, thank you, and may the clutch be with you. Take care.
Ciao, everyone.
Bye, y'all.
Giddy up.